NPL Grand Finals weekend certainly lived up to the hype if you were in New South Wales. It didn't quite live up to the hype in Victoria, but it was a good game nonetheless. We will cover everything that happened from those two games as well as take a look at a couple of the results around the country. Melbourne City have found out who they're going to be facing in the Asian Women's Champions League and where they're going to be travelling to. Sam Kerr returned to football after 20 months out and needed just 20 minutes to score. Yes, she is that good. And the fixtures finally have dropped, and I think we've got a couple of thoughts on those fixtures. And we'll talk about all of that and more on this episode of the Dubcast, part of the Roundball Australia podcast network. My name is Poletti and Burke. Look, I understand you haven't watched the entire 120 minutes of the NPL Women's New South Wales Grand Final, but this might have been the greatest game of football that's taken place this year.
Yeah, I'm really inclined to believe you, considering all that I saw of the highlights package. What was going on there?
Chaos and pandemonium, and I was in the weird situation of at 11 a.m. on Saturday morning, I had my day planned out. I was set. It was what's the NPL Women's Grand Final followed by the NPL Men's Grand Final. Nothing was going to happen. By 12 o'clock, I found out I'm calling a game on the other side of Sydney at 7 p.m. So when the game went to extra time, I was like, am I gonna miss kickoff for the other game? Because I'm not leaving until I get interviews here. I ended up making everything was fine. But yes, no, it was like I was the only one in the press box who probably was like, I'm okay with 120 minutes, but I'd really rather this end in 90, despite the chaotic nature of the game. Like, if you were a neutral just taking this game in, my word, you've witnessed something amazing. But we'll get onto that game shortly, but I think we'll head down to Victoria first, where Box Hill United were 2-1 winners over Heidelberg United in the NPL Women's Victoria Grand Final. I have not seen a ton of this game, Burke, outside of the referee headbutting a player. Head collision? Can you call it a
Yeah,
headbutt? Headbutt usually implies intention, right?
yeah, and I would like to hope it wasn't intentional. Um, yeah, it was an interesting game. Uh, yeah, it was only a few minutes in, I think like maybe 6 minutes in, not even.
I think it was around the 14-minute mark.
Oh, God, okay. Don't ask me to judge times, distances, anything like that. I've got no idea.
Time is an illusion. We've established this.
Yes. Yeah, and so the referee collided with a Box Hill United player, and yeah, like the referee just immediately dropped. Like she kind of fell like a plank of wood, just went straight down. Um, and yeah, so everything was kind of halted for a very long time. But yeah, they got the fourth official, I guess, in there, and the other ref, the actual ref, had to be like walked off and had like a giant bandage on her head. Hopefully, she's doing all right now. Um, but yeah, as for the game, it was Karina Rossi who had two goals in the game, which also won her the Player of the Match award, obviously. And they were really quick back-to-back goals. The first one was a little odd in the setup in that it looked offside from where I was standing, but it mustn't have been, I guess. Or I don't know, maybe I just have really bad luck in finals and seeing offside calls that should be made. Who knows? Who knows? The her second goal, however, was an absolute belter. Absolute belter. Um, But yeah, Box Hill had already had won their last 10 games in a row leading up to this game. So it was really just like, you know, are they going to do another one? And, when you have players like Sofia Sakalis and Rihanna Polacina, yeah, yeah. Um, and yeah, the Burgers ended up getting one back later in the second half. Melbourne City's Caitlin Carrick scored, I think it was a direct free kick, I believe, that she put away. But unfortunately, Heidelberg weren't able to find an equaliser, so Box Hill ran away with it. Um, and yeah, it was also the last game for Heidelberg's captain and I guess kind of, what, I want to say like talismanic figure, but she's, yeah, a legend, an icon. Steph Galea, who's a left winger, had her final game after 10 years with Heidelberg. And I think this season was the first season she's won the Premiership. So I think she's won all the plates and trophies that could be won. So yeah, a shame that she couldn't win her last game, but not everyone gets to be a winner in this game. She's had a massive career, and I hope she gets to enjoy her retirement because 10 years is a long time to be in like local football. But yeah, overall,
Yeah,
it was a good
especially
game.
especially doing it at the same club.
Yeah, yeah, to survive 10 years in one place, like she's Heidelberg. She is Heidelberg. It's going to be very interesting to see what they look like next season, considering they won't have her, and considering the entry of Melbourne Victory and Melbourne City Academy teams. So the other clubs are going to have to work really hard to either keep their players or get in new ones because they're going to be competing with, I guess, a direct channel to the A Leagues. Which isn't to say the other teams aren't direct channels, it's just that, playing for Melbourne City's NPL team is a bit different to playing for, like, Alameин's NPL team.
Yep.
But yeah, it wasn't the result I was hoping for either, because I do love Heidelberg, but still uh, a worthy game of a final, I think.
Yep. No, as I said, I'll have to take your word for it. I didn't see too much of this game with the bumper weekend that I had up here in New South Wales, and we'll talk about that game now. Bulls FC defeating APIA Leichhardt 4-3 after extra time, and I cannot stress this enough. This what like I've got like this was my game of the year hands down. Like A-League women internationals, like this is the best game of football I have seen this year by far. Like I'll try to take you through the chaos as best as I can. Sophie Hoban opens the scoring for Apia in the 7th minute. Alyssa Rose, playing against her former club after leaving in the mid-season transfer window, makes it 2-0 in the 20th minute. 2-0 at halftime. Avani Prakash comes on for Anna Hogarth Scott, a move that myself and several other people who were in the media area at the game all agreed need to happen. None of us could just agree on what time of the game it needed to happen. And sure enough, halftime, Avani Prakash comes on and completely changes this game. Bulls looked a lot smoother in midfield. Like, she was making plays that she had no right to be making whatsoever, which is made all the more impressive when you look at that at halftime, Apia brought Tash Pryor on for Jessica Seaman, and being able to bring on a capped Matilda seems like a cheat code, because it is, but then you've got a young Matilda in Avani Prakash, who was also a cheat code that sort of cancelled it out. Bulls get one back in the 55th minute, 2-1 from penalty spot. Which then saw they then got a second penalty in the 75th minute, which was converted by Claudia Valletta because Tamara Souza had been substituted 2 minutes earlier, and she was on a yellow card. I think I said this last week. she's not the sort of player you want in your squad on a yellow card because she's prone to a little bit of aggressive play that might see her get a second yellow. And speaking of aggressive play, in the 84th minute, a red card apiece. One for APIA, one for Bulls. Jade Guichon, who was not even on the field for 10 minutes, gets beat by Jordan Jasnos coming out of her own end. And Guichon's instinct was to just pull at the ponytail of Jordan Jasnos, gops a red card, and then Jordan Jasnos then just reacted probably out of instinct and pushed Jade Guichon over onto the ground and copped a red card herself. So it goes to 10v10 and then to extra time. It was the dumbest series of red cards I've ever seen in a football game. The hair pull followed by a push because you got your hair pulled. All you have to do is not react and you've got a player advantage for the remainder of the game. Maybe it still goes to extra time and maybe Bulls still win. But all you have to do is just not react, Burke.
Look, like I said before we started recording, there's a reason that I'm not involved in football on the pitch, because if I had been the referee, I would have been telling her to wait until she got up to push her over again. Because that was diabolical. That was insane. It was so blatant, the hair pull, that I can't believe she even did it. There was not a single brain cell working in that moment. And there couldn't have been, because if you had a single brain cell working in that moment, you would not have pulled her hair. But she did. So she got sent off. And of course, the referee, rightfully so, red carded the other player in for the retaliation. But it was just bizarre. It's giving shades of that. Was it the semi-final where Lourdes Bosch had an absolute brain fade and punched another player in the head against?
I know exactly. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
It's giving shades of that, except the other player wasn't red carded in the situation because they successfully did not react. But yeah, crazy stuff.
In extra time, Ash Brodigan, the other player that transferred from Bulls FC to APIA, who had come onto the pitch and scored, which was then followed by it going to 3-3 with Janae Dos Santos getting the equaliser, and then Bulls FC captain Liz Gray for the second week in a row getting the game-winning goal to make it 4-3. The first time of the game the Bulls had the lead. APIA then get a penalty with the chance to make it 4-4 for the third penalty in the game, which should not have been a penalty. It was a very clear dive, in my opinion.
It was very interesting looking on the replay. But again, this is why I'm not a referee, because I could not be making these decisions. Props to all referees for the work that they do. Couldn't be me.
So Ashcroft steps up, takes the penalty. It's saved by Miyamoto. Namoto gives up the rebound before being able to cover it again, and Ashcroft goes tumbling over and is then taken out of the game and was taken to hospital following the conclusion of the game. I haven't received an official update on her status, so I have put the question to APIA. I haven't received a response, so hoping everything is okay with Ashcroft's there. But and then Bulls managed to see out the rest of the game and walked away 4-3 winners after extra time. Honestly, I know that description does not do it justice. If you can go and watch the entire 120 minutes of this game, you will not be disappointed. That is a Dubcast guarantee. You will not be disappointed if you go and watch the entirety of this game. it was absolutely insane from start to finish. And after the game, I caught up with Bulls captain Liz Gray. I also caught up with Coach Marty Garces, and back for her third week, Isabella Coco DeCipio, and I'll play those for you now in order. So Liz Gray, Marty Garces, and then Isabella Coco DeCipio. First of all, Liz, congratulations. How's it feel?
I'm a little bit in disbelief, to be honest. It's, you know, the whole season has come to this moment, and it really wasn't looking good for us at halftime, but the collective belief of this group to come back, to look down at the badge, to know what that means, and to get 3 goals in, I don't know how many minutes it was, but, you know, I'm just so proud.
That's the second week in a row now you've scored the game-winning goal. The striker's mentality never leaves you, right?
I mean, once a striker, always a striker, I guess.
I was told that you very much liked the call I delivered last week of your goal. I can't say I had the same privilege today, but what's it like to be able to lead this side, and knowing that you come up, you know, with the winning goal, essentially?
I mean, a goal's a goal, but at the end of the day, it takes, I was going to say 11, but 10 players to get the ball up into that space. So, I mean, I might have finished it off, but it's all credit to the team to get the ball into that space for me.
It was such a wild game. You know, it's 1-1, it's 2-2, it's 3-3, it's 10 on 10. Like, how do you even play a game like that?
I think we like to make it entertaining. We like to make it a little bit hard for ourselves. We love a challenge. But yeah, I mean, that game had everything. It had red cards, it had fouls, it had Matildas, it had, you name it, everything. And I think I just need a second to process this whole season, to be honest. The fact that we got the premiership, now we get to lift that Champions Trophy, it's quite emotional, to be honest, and I'm just so proud.
Did it feel good knowing that the Demons of 2023 are now erased?
Yeah, they're well and truly erased. We finally got our name on that trophy, and we'll be back next year to get it again. And
then lastly, you've got the rainbow captain's armband on. I don't think it was something you had at the start of the season. When did you make that change?
The first armband was one that the club gave me, just a black one. It was a bit boring. It broke, and so I bought myself one. And you know, I'm a proud queer woman, and I wanted to wear the rainbow flag to show that support.
Yeah,
you just got player of the match.
Marty, first of all, congratulations. How's it feel?
Letting it sink in. I'm letting it sink in. But yeah, great feeling. Yeah.
It looked like you were letting it sink in when the full-time whistle went. You just collapsed into the chair you were sitting in. Shock, disbelief?
Pretty much all of the above. yeah, entertaining game, emotional, a lot of things happening throughout. The challenges, you know, what goes through your mind is everything that we've been through, and just the resilience of the girls, you know, I'm just in awe of watching them. That's all.
An insane game when, you know, 2-0 down at half time. What did you say to them to get them back up for the second half?
For us, it was about out enthuse them. You know, they had so much energy and momentum. You know, 2-goal lead, and we've been there before. And I know and believe that this group, every team is special, but until you're in that change room, you don't know what special is. So, yeah.
You get back to 2-2, and then Guichon and Jasnos have 2 of the dumbest red cards I've ever seen.
Yeah.
How did the game change from there?
It became 10v10, bigger spaces, you know. Back to Europe, you know, small-sided games, but on a big pitch. So yeah, it was good. It's yeah.
Liz gets the game-winning goal for the second week in a row. What's it like to have her as captain at his side?
I'm so privileged to have worked with her, to have her lead the team, and really couldn't have done it without her. She believed from the beginning when I came to her with the project, and she's just an unbelievable human. Yeah.
How are you going to top this next year? Win the Sapphire as well?
One step at a time.
You're back for a third week in a row. I'm going to have to start paying you at this rate, Izzy. Congratulations on winning the grand final. How's it feel?
It feels bloody amazing to be here, to finally win it all. You know, I feel like throughout the season a lot of people counted this team out, and we just used that as fuel, and to come back from 2-0 down and really pull away with the win again in extra time. We love a little challenge, but I couldn't be more proud of this team.
I mean, you were slipping and sliding for like the last 10 minutes of that game. Was it tactical or was it actual?
No, it wasn't tactical, I promise. No, we told grass people to water the grass, probably a big mistake. But no, it wasn't tactical. It was just a really hard challenge, and I made sure I just left everything out there. So yeah.
Undefeated at home.
I caught it last week. I told you, undefeated at home. We live by that, and to go this whole season undefeated, yeah, it's something special.
I mean, that game, just as a whole, can you even describe it? Like, it was one of the craziest games I've ever seen in a scoreline to match.
Yeah, I mean, look, full credit to APIA. They're a well-fitted side. Every time we go up against them, we know it's going to be a challenge. So credit to them for putting up a good fight. But this team doesn't know how to stop. This team has just full belief, full hope. And yeah, we went 2-0 down, but when we got in that change room, we knew that this game isn't over. If we can produce a really good second half, the game's all ours.
How did things change once it went to 10v10?
Oh, that was a bit unexpected, but you saw the game open up a bit more, a lot more space out there, a lot more like balls in behind, which obviously lots more running. But yeah, it was a hurdle, but we overcame it.
You've got some of the most vocal fans I've heard for quite some time. What's it like to be able to celebrate with them?
It's something special. I mean, I've got my family, my friends that came out and support, as do every other girl here. And to hear them, they make a lot of sacrifices for us. So this is for them as it is as much for us.
And Burke, I think possibly, like I'll touch on Liz's interview a little bit first. This was absolutely not planned, but she found out she got player of the match while I was interviewing her.
That was very amusing, and I feel like a very much a WOSO thing to have happen, that you're mid-interview and then suddenly are being called away for player of the match. Rightfully deserved, considering she scored the game winner. Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, as she said, striker's instinct doesn't leave. I mean, like, I don't know, how many of you would have seen this photo. We did post it on the Round Ball Australia social media pages. But Marty Garces literally could not believe that what he'd just seen and that they'd won, because he literally just collapsed into his chair at the end of the game. Like, he didn't move for like a good solid 2 minutes, Burke.
I honestly would have done the same. I would have done the same once the goal was scored. Like, that's when I would have been tapped out. Because crazy.
I mean, and then Coco DeCipio, I mean, she said last week she called it, the Bulls were going to win the grand final. They've gone the entire season undefeated as the nominated home team. Just honestly, like there's something that was so special about this team this year.
Yeah. Does she want to give me the lottery numbers? Is all I can really say, because I'd really like them. You know what? I'd even split the winnings, just as long as she gives me the numbers.
I mean, that's fair enough, but yeah, like clearly she can predict the future. Either that, or she's got so much confidence in her side, and I think it might be a little bit of the latter there, just a little bit.
Fair enough.
So that sums up the NPL New South Wales Grand Final. In what was the top 4 final in Western Australia. I don't understand how the Western Australia final series works. But Balcatta Etna FC defeated Perth Red Star 5-1 over at the Sam Kerr Football Centre on Saturday. So congratulations to Balcatta. And then Brisbane City defeated the Gold Coast Knights in the NPL Queensland Grand Final 1-0. That's the NPL done for another year, Burke.
That is the NPL done for another year.
Don't want it to end.
No.
I mean, I want my A-League back, but I don't want the NPL to end.
This is the struggle we face every single year. Where it's like, yay, the A-Leagues are coming, but NPL's done. But still.
I like getting paid to commentate football.
Yeah, that is pretty nice, I will say. But we'll see a lot of these players again in the dub, and then they'll be back for NPL, and the cycle continues.
Hopefully not for much longer though, because we'll have full-time contracts in the A-League Women. Fingers crossed. And speaking of the A-League Women, we'll go to last season's premiers now. Melbourne City, who found out on Thursday afternoon who they will be facing. Melissa Barbieri goes from commentating an NPL Victoria women's semi-final to going to AFC House in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, to conduct the draw. Burke, that's got to be a whirlwind week.
There is nothing she can't do. There's nothing she can't do. Honestly, you could put her in front of like a bomb and ask her to defuse it, and I reckon she'd be able to do it. Luckily, what she had to do was much easier than that. She had to spin the little balls that they had in the little tubs and then pick them out. I did find it a bit funny that they let her do it, considering she is actually participating in the competition.
Well, I mean, if we go back to the Asian Cup draw, like they had representatives from each of the teams do it. So
yeah, it just felt a bit funny, because she's picking the teams that she's going to be playing against, kind of thing. And it's not like, yeah, they just had her, like they didn't have any other team reps. But yeah, it's good to see Bubs out there. But yeah, City was drawn first place in Group A, or place A of Group 1, whatever order they do it. They were first of first. Yes.
Yes, they're in Group A.
There we
go. And
Group
you
A.
wrote about this for the Round Ball Australia website, Burke.
I did.
Where are they travelling to, and who are they playing?
So they are going to Vietnam, and so it's Ho Chi Minh City Women's Football Club who are going to be hosting. And then they've also got Stallion Laguna FC, which is a Filipino women's football team. They've got quite a few players in there that are from the Filipino women's national team as well. So I think they'll be pretty exciting to watch. They've been hampered a little here and there by like COVID and stuff, because that completely disrupted the league. And they completed the preliminary stage to get through. And the last team that they've got is the Lion City Sailors, and they are from Singapore. They're actually a really, really old team, from 1997. That's when they were founded, under a different name, but same club. They did the same thing as Stallion Laguna. They made it through the preliminary stage. They'd been in the prelim stage last year, but hadn't progressed. This year, they've progressed, and so they will be in this group against City. And of course, Ho Chi Minh City, they were actually in the Champions League, Asian Women's Champions League last year. They made it to the semi-finals. They lost to Wuhan Jiangda, that I definitely have favourable things to say about as a team. I don't have any sort of bad feeling towards that team. But that is a joke. They were the team that won the tournament. So yeah, Ho Chi Minh City lost to Wuhan, who was the team that eventually won the tournament. So yeah, they're also an old team. They were established in 1998, which is a hot minute ago. Like, that's approaching 30 years. I don't like how the passage of time works. But yes.
No, you and me both.
That's who Melbourne City are playing. The games are going to be played in November between, I believe, the 13th and the 18th.
It's the 13th and the 19th.
Well, I was close.
No kickoff times.
No, nothing like that yet.
But they will all be, local time Vietnam. So there might be a sneaky, like a 14th or a 17th or a 20th in there, with like a 12:30 a.m. Australian time kickoff.
I'm hoping for a decent kickoff time.
If the ASEAN Women's Championships that the under 23 at least won recently is anything to go by, they'll all be pretty reasonable kickoff times.
Hopefully. I'm crossing my fingers for it. But yeah, it should be an interesting group stage. It'll be interesting to see how City turn up, because they have had a lot of players leave and they have made a few signings. So it'll be interesting to see what they look like. Yeah, obviously they will have had a few weeks of A-Leagues football to kind of sort of re-establish themselves and shake off the cobwebs, etc., as they say. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what it looks like, and I'm hoping if they get through that Melbourne can potentially host another game, because I think that was really fun. And I'm not just saying that because I want to go. I do think it's fun. And I think it's really good to bring that kind of thing here if we can.
Yeah, so I'm trying to. So basically, all three teams that top their group will be seeded
Yep.
in the quarterfinals draw, and then of the second place teams, only
I
the
think it's
top
the
team
top-
of the second. Yeah,
Is it the top
So the
one or
top-
top two?
no, it's top one of the second
Oh,
place teams will
God.
become seeded, which means
Good
they will
luck.
host the quarterfinals, and then the other four teams unseeded, which I
and then
believe
they draw.
which they will be drawn as the away teams. And so you're looking at a situation where Melbourne City really need to top their group if they want to host a quarterfinal
Yeah.
again, or else they will play no Champions League football in Australia.
Please top your group, Melbourne City. It's not hard, I don't think. Probably. I don't know. Don't ask Melbourne City men about it. They don't know. They just lost their game. At the time of recording, they just lost.
Yes, I should have. Yes, I should have clarified. Melbourne City men are playing Champions League football in Australia, but Melbourne City women will not. And I will put that clarification in because I know if that had been said the other way, I would have been very, very annoyed.
Yes. Yes.
That it was not specified. So I would like to offer an apology for that. I can only hold myself to the same standard that I expect of others, right?
Exactly.
And we'll move on now to the fixtures. As I said, they were dropped on Thursday. No, they were dropped on Wednesday after we recorded. No, round one was dropped on Wednesday. Round two was dropped on Thursday after we recorded. Time is an illusion.
It is.
This is a well-established fact on the Dubcast. The time is an illusion, and I have to say, I am annoyed at multiple things in the fixturing list,
What?
and I look. I understand. I understand that there are challenges and difficulties that the APL has to go through when organising these things and balancing commercial realities and all those sorts of things. But I've been on this bandwagon for a while, and I'm going to continue to be on this bandwagon.
But
Can we get rid of double headers, please? I'm begging you. Like, especially Sydney FC hosting their derby as a double header. And I know the Wanderers have done it in the past as a double header. I do not like it. Just no double headers or less double headers. Like,
Okay.
and no derbies as double headers. Like Wellington and Auckland in the A-League men are playing a derby, which is going to be a double header with the A-League women, which will be Wellington and Canberra. There's going to be like 5 people in that stadium for the Wellington and Canberra game, and one of them is going to be friend of the pod, Daniel Winfasane. Like, there's going to be no one in that stadium for Wellington versus Canberra. Just double headers, derbies, bad idea, bad idea. No.
I have a differing sort of take, which I've only considered because I saw it on the Instagram page for podcast friend of podcast, the Far Post Pod, where someone was talking about how they actually really liked the double headers because they go for Melbourne City, and getting to Amy Park is a whole lot easier than getting to Casey Fields, which personally I deeply agree with. Getting to Casey Fields is a nightmare. If you're trying to go via public transport, good luck and Godspeed. I genuinely wish you all the best. Traveling there by car isn't fun. I cannot imagine public transport getting out to Casey. Getting to Amy is much, much easier because it's just in the city. But my real gripe is there are so many games on Sundays that are in Casey, and I work on Sundays, so I cannot go to Casey unless I want to lose my income. So
Let's get you a new job. How about that?
I would love to do that. But unfortunately, in this economy, jobs do not grow on trees. In fact, I don't think jobs grow at all, really.
I mean, in this environment, I don't think trees grow either.
No, not for much longer at least. Like maybe for a little while, but that's gonna stop soon too.
They just get ripped out of the ground and bash someone's house.
Yeah,
I may or may not be speaking from experience.
maybe not. Maybe not. But yeah, that's my gripe, is that too many games on Sundays, and I don't know why all of the city games have to be on Sundays. I don't know what's going on that they're using the pitch on a Saturday for, that they can't have a women's game on the Saturday. I have many a gripe about Casey, Control Alt Delete Fields, whatever you want to call it. I couldn't tell you what the real name is at this point, and I don't want to know. But I think everyone's already heard me complain about that place. There's no need to complain about it just yet, because I haven't been in a while. So I'll go back, and then when I do that, I can come back and complain. It won't be anything that anyone hasn't already heard before, but we'll get like season 2 of the Dubcast version of Burke losing her mind about going to Casey. Yeah, games being in weird, well, not weird, games being really inaccessible really annoys me. Because it's like, yeah, we want to grow the league. We want people to come. Who's coming to Casey? No one that lives in the West is coming to Casey. They could go, they would have gone to Truganino, or wherever the hell that, Tarneet. It's Tarneet. Sorry, I've already forgotten everything to do with Western United. That's how, no offense, Western United, but that's how dead to me they are. Immediately gone. But yeah, no one from out there is coming over here. And they shouldn't, because that would be insane. Even people that live in the city or in the like inner southeast don't want to do that. But I'm pretty sure the Victory women's games, are they all, some of them are at Amy, because they, I believe, are still doing double headers. So those will be more accessible to people. And if they're not at Amy, they're going to be at Home of the Matildas, which I feel everyone's very used to going to now, because there's been so much stuff there. Casey, not so much.
I'll take your word for it as a non-Victorian that it's easy to get to.
Okay, I wouldn't say Home of the Matildas is easy to get to. It's just more familiar to people, because there've been like Matilda's Open trainings and the Victory Games and NPL and all that jazz. So people are more used to going to it, and it's kind of easier to go north in Victoria via public transport than it is to go southeast. Because it's it's quite southeast. Like it's new development areas kind of vibe. Yeah. All the houses look a bit the same.
I understand exactly what you mean. As I see these new developments go up all the time around where I am, and I'm just kind of like,
that house is that house, and it's that house.
I'm trying to deliver food. How do I find these houses when they're all the same
house? You could throw a stone and you would hit a house that had ordered delivery. All the same. All the same.
I will say my only experience with Home of the Matildas is while it was still under construction.
Yeah,
I was at La Trobe University for the 2022 Australian National Quidditch Championships, because it was still known as Quidditch at that point. It hadn't quite transitioned over to quad ball yet. So yeah, they were at La Trobe University, and I remember leaving on day one because I'd gotten sunscreen in my eye, and so I went back to my hotel to have a shower and then promptly fell asleep. And then day two, I kind of went for a little bit of a walk around the place. After I played my final game, I promptly stopped playing after that weekend, which, coming up on 3 years being retired. How good. And I saw the facilities under construction and everything like that. And they were coming along nicely at that point, and I haven't been back since. I'm going to try to get there at some point this season, but, there's an Asian Cup to prepare for with a lot of travel involved, so I don't quite know if I'm going to get to Victoria this year.
Fair enough. Although it is the place to be, I will say.
One thing I did note of the fixture with Melbourne Victory is they've moved away from a doubleheader for one of their fixtures, and that is the Big Blue in January. That will be split with the women to play on the Sunday, the 25th of January, at home of the Matildas, and the men to play on the public holiday on the 26th at Amy Park. In part because Sydney FC have to go play in Perth on the Wednesday night, the 28th.
Ah, well, that'd do it. But that also puts me in a situation now where it's like, when is the hottest 100 countdown going to be? Because if that's on the same day,
Take your smartphone and your headphones to home of the Matildas.
I might. I just might.
So then it also should be noted as well, both teams, I'm sure you're listening to this, you're probably well aware of this already, but both teams, all 11 teams in the competition will have 2 buys apiece, and they'll play 20 games, which means we are somewhat going backwards. We've gone from 22 games to 23 games, back down to 20 because of the ongoing Western United situation where they will not play football this season in the A-Leagues. And if Western United are unable to come back into the league next season, it's a situation we're going to be looking at again next year, pending whatever is happening with Canberra United, because following Bulls FC's 4-3 grand final win, the question once again had been put out on, at least I'd seen a few different people on social media put it out, as to when MacArthur were getting an A-League women team. And finally got an updated answer out of the club. So the answer is that MacArthur are currently in the same position as Auckland FC when it comes to an A-League women team. And as we saw the news, that Auckland FC are going to be delayed until the 2027-28 season by the APL before they can come in. And whilst that date has not been set in stone for MacArthur, that is currently the aim of the club for the 2027-28 season. So we could be looking at potentially another season with a bye and 20 games, Burke.
I hate that. Yeah, they give their reasons for why they can't enter the competition, but I just don't think it's a case of them not really being ready. Personally, I do think it may just be a case of them not wanting to spend any money right now. And if you can disagree with that, but I would just like you to look up the net worth of the owner of Auckland FC and then tell me that they aren't capable of putting together a women's side. Get back to me on that. Or don't. You don't have to. I know when I'm right, and it's quite often, so that's okay. I'll accept this W preemptively.
Yeah, look, given what we know now about Western United, it was certainly an interesting decision by the APL. In hindsight, admittedly, to not have Auckland FC come into the competition this year, because we could have had, 6 games every single weekend with no buys. But look, the APL, I'm sure, have their reasons as to why they chose not to expand the A-League women competition for now. That they're not any reasons or anything I'm privy to, but I'm sure they have their reasons. Whether people agree with those reasons is another question entirely, and one I'm not that keen to provide comment on, in all honesty, without knowing what the reasons are.
I've got my tinfoil hat on. It's really it's on, clearly. I'd love to be proven wrong, so.
Can you use that tinfoil hat to come up with a conspiracy theory as to how Sam Kerr is so good at football that she can score 20 minutes after returning from a 20-month injury?
I don't think I need to do that, because that's just facts that Sam Kerr is that good. Yeah, she's Crazy. I'm obsessed with it. Um, hmm. Conspiracy. Yeah, I don't think there's a conspiracy to it. I think she's just that good. I think I have to take off the tinfoil hat. Everything that I'm saying from here on now is not a conspiracy, guys. Just
Like literally, like everyone was watching on Sunday night. It was kind of like, is Sam gonna play? Is she gonna play? Is she gonna come off the bench? And then she comes off the bench and then she scores. I mean, it's
Sam Kerr.
It was a 3-1 win over Aston Villa. She scored the third goal. Like, I know we try not to talk too much about, you know, European football on this, but Chelsea are just going to romp their way to another title, aren't they?
I am not going to agree with that because I don't want that to be the case because I'm sick of these leagues that just have one team that wins all the time. But yeah, funny story about that situation was that I was very concerned that she was actually going to make her return in the first week of the season. So I woke up at 4:30 in the morning to watch the Chelsea opening game against Man City. And thankfully, she did not make her return because I fell asleep before the game ended. I think I watched like maybe 70 minutes and then I was like, well, I just passed out. But I did get to see Ellie Carpenter and she had a very good game. But I didn't miss Sam Kerr's return, thankfully. And in case you didn't already know, actually, I lied. My conspiracy theory hat is back on. The tinfoil hat is back on. We're going to win the Asian Cup.
I don't think that's a conspiracy so much as we have a striker who can score goals that isn't late 30s Michelle Heyman.
No, it's a conspiracy theory because we're also going to get Mary Fowler back via whatever voodoo magic they've got going on.
And there's a conspiracy theory.
At Melbourne City, at Manchester City. And we're going to win the Asian Cup. Like, we are so going to win. The power of Sam Kerr playing the opening game in Perth will simply carry us through all the way. Okay, now my tinfoil hat is off.
I mean, look, I think that I think it was Kieran Yap who said Twitter that he was quoting another post, which was tactics talk on the timeline when we can now just go back to effort. Sam Kerr's in there somewhere, crosses and prayers. That is also probably enough to get Australia to the semi-final of the Asian Cup too. Yeah. Which I think is a fair assessment. And then I said, and if you avoid Japan, it just for whatever reason,
that's
it's probably enough to win the damn tournament.
Yes. I mean, we get, like, I know we've spent the last 20 months being like, guys, we really need to develop our football game outside of it being hoof it, inshallah, Sam Kerr will be there. But God, is it good that we get to go back to hoof it, inshallah, Sam Kerr will be there. Like,
yeah, I
said your boy, Sam Kerr will be waiting.
She'll be match fit. She'll have gone through, you know, a couple of camps with Montemuro. Like, everything's going to be all right.
Inshallah, Sam Kerr will be there. God willing, said the Ovola, she will be there. Oh,
we can only hope indeed.
So
not going to touch too much on transfer and player movement in this episode, but one thing I did want to talk about: Sasha Grove is returning to Canberra United.
What?
Which
I'm shocked.
Isn't like I love it because like I love watching Sasha Grove play, and so knowing that Sasha Grove is going to be in this league again, like she doesn't have to go overseas, is just enjoyable to me. And you know, in the press release, Grove said, "This club has always been a huge part of my life and holds a special place in my heart." It really makes a return to Canberra a no-brainer for Grove, and for Canberra as a whole. But they've now got 3 fullbacks. They've got Hayley Taylor-Young, they've got Tegan Bertolicio, and Sasha Grove. And look, I genuinely look at it as if you have the chance to sign Sasha Grove, you sign Sasha Grove, no questions asked.
Yeah.
But Taylor Young,
Look, they're just
but
gonna have
Alicia,
to.
who's
They're just gonna have
on
to
the
play
bench?
like scissors, paper, rock to decide
Like, who doesn't get game
gets to
time?
go.
Who's gonna feel screwed over by not getting game time? Like,
They're just gonna have to play scissors, paper, rock before every game, and be like, yeah, whoever wins gets to play. Or like they can just like call shotgun, like me and my sister would do for the front seat of the car. And then if you call shotgun on the way there, the other person gets shotgun on the way home, so they can swap at halftime.
This is like I just want to see now. I just want to see Anthony Garanich like in the sheds before the game. He's got to submit the team sheet. It's like, right, which two of you three are playing?
Who
Like,
wants it?
who's playing?
Yes. Or they can just do the trusty convert. I know they usually in our game they're usually trying to convert an attacker to a defender, but we could try the other way around. We could try doing a defender to an attacker, or even a midfielder. Depends on what else Canberra's got going over there.
We saw Grace Maher go to Western United and immediately start playing out of position.
Yeah,
I don't think there's any reason to suggest that Sasha Grove couldn't do the same thing. Like, I've seen her play midfield before, and
tell
she's
her to
not bad.
pick a spot and she can have it. Like, it's Sasha Grove. She can do it. I believe in her.
I think we all believe in Sasha Grove.
As we should.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not my problem to work out, thankfully.
Yeah. That's someone else's
Because I
problem.
would not want to have to be. I would not have to want to be Anthony Garanich and working out that problem.
No, not even a little bit.
That will do for this episode of the Dubcast, part of the Roundball Australia Podcast Network. There was a lot to talk about, Burke.
Yeah, in the off season, it kind of feels like nothing happens, and then everything happens. And usually the everything that happens is as soon as we've hit end call on this, which is so fun. So I'm really excited to see what gets announced before the podcast drops, but after we've recorded.
Of course.
But yeah, it's been good. There's been lots of good news. Sam Curry's back, people. We're gonna win the Asian Cup. How good.
That is the best news you could probably hope to hear. We don't know when we'll be back. So regardless of what platform you're consuming us on, hit the subscribe bell, hit the little notification, button, the subscribe bell. It's late. I'm tired. The subscribe button, the notification bell. There we go. So that way when we're back,
that give you the notifications.
so that way you know when we drop another episode. And which I'm sure they'll just, as Burke said, there will be a lot more to talk about. So we'll be back when we're back. We're less than 6 weeks away from the start of the season. So actually, it might be just a touch over 6 weeks. Time is an illusion.
It is. That's been the theme of this episode. And remember, everyone, time doesn't mean anything.
We're less than 2 months. I know that for a fact. We're less than 2 months away from the start of the season. So we'll have plenty of things to come in the lead up to the season kicking off. But thank you very much for tuning in for this episode of the Dubcast, part of the Roundball Australia Podcast Network. My name is Poletti for Burke. We thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.